The area of East Marsh is just a stone's throw away from Grimsby's historic fishing port. Built in the 1800s, the houses here were once home to railway construction workers and then later to deep-sea trawler workers. But today, poor quality housing is a huge problem in this area. Many of the houses have been bought up by private landlords as investments and allowed to seriously deteriorate. A grassroots community group called East Marsh United have taken matters into their own hands. They are buying up houses, renovating them, and renting them back to local people at affordable rents in line with housing benefit.
Well, East Marsh United is a community organisation firmly rooted in its part of this town, Grimsby.
East Marsh United is a response to a community that has never had a voice for itself, so that in different ways everyone can say what they want for their own community to make this place what they want it to be without other people demanding of them to be what is needed from outside.
See, East Marsh United was born out of those riots in 2017 where I guess it was almost inevitable that something like that happened. Local people had been forgotten and left behind and were in a very vulnerable position, and I think it needed a spark such as that to make an organisation like East Marsh United get on the front foot and take back some form of control.
East Marsh United might have started off by litter picking and trying to get people involved in the community, but they soon realised that bad housing and rogue landlords were at the heart of everything they faced as a community. That's why they decided to have a crack at becoming a socially conscious landlord themselves.
East Marsh United will see themselves as an ethical landlord, and I think that's a direct response to, dare I say, the standard of landlord that we've experienced in East Marsh for many years now, where they tend to be absent from their properties and caring less about their property and the tenants within it. And I think we needed to directly respond to that.
They don't care that people are living without a house that actually works. I've actually been in one house where the floorboards were rotten and you had to jump over a hole to get into the house. These people have no choice. They take that house or are homeless. And any roof is better than no roof, although I question that sometimes.
We get to know the individuals and the families within any of those houses. You know, yes, we are looking at acquiring rental income from them, but look after them as part of that process.
Our rents stay within the bounds of housing benefit. So that means that they are always fully paid by the local authority to ensure that people are not going to get into debt.
Since the pandemic, poverty in this bit of Grimsby has reached levels not seen for a generation. In recent years, life expectancy here in East Marsh has also been falling. According to North East Lincolnshire Public Health, East Marsh is in the top 1% of the most deprived places in England. Local campaigners at East Marsh United say they are worried about what will happen here as bills and the cost of living continue to rise, particularly because many of the homes are in poor conditions and not properly insulated. The homes East Marsh United rent out are affordable in line with local housing allowance. They're also fully refurbished. Pete Rowley runs local builder East Marsh Construction, which does the renovations and employs local people to do the jobs on decent wages.
East Marsh United obviously are the organisation who are buying up the houses, providing an ethical landlord service. The bit that we fit in the jigsaw is that we do the actual refurbishment for them, because most of these houses are in an appalling state when they're the worst of the worst.
The economic decline of Grimsby closely mirrors the decline of the quality of housing in East Marsh.
I suspect if you go back 50 years, it was a very good neighbourhood. I lived in this neighbourhood as a child, and it was a great neighbourhood to be in. But what happened in the mid to late 70s around the fishing industry and the cod war and the demise of the fishing industry meant that work opportunities were not there, and housing kind of went to this phase where it was able to change hands for small sums of money a lot of absentee landlords, a lot of sort of, if you like, portfolio property investment stuff came in uncared for. They probably didn't even know they owned the houses. So houses were allowed to just sort of fall into some state of disrepair.
If you live on the East Marsh and you compare life expectancy with not the leafier areas of Grimsby, but just the next ward, there's a 12-year gap, there's a 12-year difference. The hard fact is, if you live on the East Marsh, you should expect a shorter life.
Pete knows this area inside out. He says that two things need to happen to improve people's life chances. Firstly, they need decent homes to live in and lead healthy lives from. Secondly, he says that skills need to be brought back to the area and that people need to be trained up so that they can make a decent living.
The obvious answer is to match the two. To bring in a training needs analysis to see what kind of skills are required, to train people in those skills, to start really working on refurbing and reconstituting the area. And there is no negatives, there's no downside. Everyone is a winner. It'll lift the entire area like it was. It was a very, very hard working community with no crime. I mean, when I wrote my book, interviewing people, no doors were locked. I know it's a cliche, but no doors were locked. It was a very, very strong community, and it could be again.
As a place, Grimsby has loads going for it. Cleethorpes is a popular seaside resort, which is just a 5-minute drive away from East Marsh. At the moment, East Marsh United's operation is small scale. They have 3 tenants, but plans to expand and buy up more homes. What do you think about your landlord, East Marsh United?
Well, compared to the first landlord we had up here, they're absolutely brilliant. I mean, we don't wait on anything. If something needs done, they're doing it. They're not one of these landlords that are scared to spend money to sort a problem out for a tenant. They respect your tenants. They're not one of these ones that if you're going to be a few days late on the rent, they're jumping down your throat and complaining. So they work with you rather than always trying to make life difficult for you. You walk down this road alone, you see the houses that are abandoned, boarded up, windows all boarded up, they look a state. And the ones that East Marsh have brought so far, they stand out because they're bringing them back into life, they're making the road look better, and it makes a difference to your life. Knowing that your house is going to be looked after, that is trying to improve the street. So I think, yeah, personally, I think it's absolutely brilliant what they're doing, and they should continue it.
As a place, Grimsby certainly faces challenges, but they are not impossible to overcome. As the guys at East Marsh United note, housing is an important part of levelling up. Creating better housing and renovating the homes that do exist would create jobs, and in turn, also a skilled construction workforce. That would then also mean that the homes here could provide housing for the industries that do still exist now that fishing is gone, like servicing wind turbines, for example. The problem is that in order to do that, you need joined up thinking.